Hello and welcome back to the British Accent Podcast. I'm Emily.
And I'm Nick. Really glad to have you here with us today. We're exploring something that's not often said out loud, especially in a world that constantly pushes us to solve, improve, and fix everything.
Exactly. We live in this culture that praises quick answers, instant solutions, and immediate action. And while there's a place for that, not everything in life needs to be fixed straight away. Some things aren't broken, they're just unfolding in their own time.
And sometimes, the urge to fix comes from discomfort. We want to make the pain stop, make the awkwardness go away, make someone feel better, or find the right words. But the truth is, not every emotion or moment needs our intervention. Some just need space.
Space to breathe. Space to settle. Space to simply be. That can feel unnatural at first, especially if you're someone who cares deeply or feels responsible for keeping the peace. But holding space doesn't mean doing nothing, it means trusting that not everything depends on your control.
It's a quiet kind of wisdom, isn't it? Learning to sit with what is. Whether it's your own feelings, someone else's sadness, a messy situation you don't have an answer for. You stop rushing to fix and instead start listening. Observing. Letting things unfold without needing to manage every outcome.
Because sometimes, trying to fix something too quickly actually causes more damage. It can interrupt the process. We might offer advice when what's really needed is presence. Or force a decision when all that's needed is time.
And this doesn't mean being passive. It means being intentional. Knowing the difference between what needs your action and what just needs your patience. Some wounds don't want solutions, they just want space to heal naturally. Quietly. Without pressure.
And that space can feel uncomfortable at first, can't it? Especially when you're used to jumping in, fixing, helping, smoothing things over. It can feel like you're not doing enough. But holding space is actually doing something. It's just not loud or obvious.
Yeah, it's choosing to sit beside the mess instead of cleaning it up the moment it appears. It's allowing things to be unresolved for a while. Letting emotions breathe, letting uncertainty stretch out without rushing to tie it up neatly.
And that kind of restraint, it's powerful. It shows a level of trust. Trust that people can process things in their own time. Trust that you don't always have to be the solution. Trust that clarity will come, maybe not today, but eventually.
We often forget that space is where growth actually happens. When we stop pushing, stop forcing, something softer begins to rise. Reflection. Realization. Even relief. You don't have to fix it for healing to begin.
And sometimes the most loving thing you can do, for yourself or for someone else, is to simply not interfere. Just to witness. To be present without pressure. It's not indifference. It's not neglect. It's honoring what's real and letting it breathe.
And you realize, you don't have to carry everything. You're allowed to let things rest. You're allowed to say, I don't know what this is yet, and that's okay. Because some answers aren't found by fixing, they are found by waiting. By holding space.
And in that waiting, there's often more clarity than we expect. Because when we stop trying to control the outcome, we actually start to see things more clearly. We notice what we've been avoiding, what's been whispering underneath all that noise.
Yeah, and when we slow down enough to hear those whispers, we find that not everything needs a solution, some things just need to be acknowledged. Like grief. Or confusion. Or disappointment. These aren't problems to fix, they are feelings to feel.
And that can be uncomfortable. It can feel unfamiliar to sit with something instead of solving it. But what we don't realize is, presence itself is healing. Sometimes just saying, this hurts, or this is hard right now, is enough to begin the process.
You're not weak for not having all the answers. You're not failing because you haven't figured it out yet. Sometimes, wisdom is in the pause. in not rushing to reframe it or make it look prettier than it is.
And we need more of that kind of permission in life, the permission to not have everything tied up neatly. The permission to let something be incomplete, for now. Because forcing a resolution too soon doesn't bring peace. It just covers up what still needs time.
Exactly. Letting things breathe isn't giving up, it's giving grace. It's stepping back and saying, maybe I don't need to fix this. Maybe I just need to honor that it's here. And in doing that, we start to feel a different kind of strength, one that's rooted, not rushed.
And that rooted strength, it changes how you show up. You become less reactive. More steady. You stop looking for quick relief and start embracing slower truths. You don't feel the urgency to fix things just to feel useful.
It's freeing, isn't it? Realizing you can let something be unfinished without it meaning you've failed. That you can love someone deeply without always knowing how to help them. That you can feel lost and still be moving forward, just not in the way the world expects.
And it also changes the way we speak to ourselves. Instead of saying, I should have done more, or why haven't I figured this out yet, we start saying, it's okay. I'm allowed to not know. I'm allowed to rest here for a bit.
That's it. It's not about giving up on growth, it's about giving up on the pressure to grow on command. You realize that some things just need to settle. They need time. They need quiet. They need space that isn't constantly interrupted by your need to control or define them.
And with that space, something incredible starts to happen. A gentle kind of clarity. Not dramatic. Not instant. But real. You wake up one day and something that felt heavy now feels slightly more bearable. Something that confused you now makes a bit more sense.
And it wasn't because you fixed it. It was because you gave it time. You trusted the process, even when it didn't look like progress. And that trust, that willingness to let go of urgency, becomes its own kind of healing.
And that's where so much quiet power lives, in the waiting, in the patience, in the space you allowed. Because when you stop hovering over something, trying to force it into place, you create room for it to breathe, to soften, to evolve naturally.
We often underestimate that. We think progress has to look active. Like effort. Like movement. But some of the most important progress happens in the stillness, in the pause between trying and letting go.
And letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It just means you stop clinging. You stop treating every situation like a puzzle to be solved. You start accepting that some things unfold slowly, and that slow doesn't mean broken, it just means real.
It also makes you gentler with others. You stop offering quick advice when someone's hurting. You stop trying to fix the people you love. You start saying things like, I don't have the answer, but I'm here with you. And sometimes, that's the most powerful thing you can give.
Absolutely. Because people don't always need solutions, they need space to feel. To process. To come to their own conclusions without being rushed there. And honestly, we need that for ourselves too.
So the next time you feel the urge to jump in and fix something, whether it's a conversation, a decision, or your own discomfort, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what if this just needs room to exist? You might be surprised by how much shifts when you step back.
And in that stepping back, you're not abandoning anything, you're actually honoring it. You're saying, I trust this enough to not micromanage it. I trust myself enough to not rush clarity. I trust that space can hold more than panic ever could.
It's such a shift, isn't it? From reacting to responding. From pressure to presence. From fixing to simply witnessing. And that shift doesn't just change how you handle the hard moments, it changes how you live.
Because when you start giving things space, you also start giving yourself space. To feel things fully without trying to edit them. To be uncertain without calling yourself weak. To rest without feeling guilty.
And you learn to live more slowly. More consciously. You start to ask, is this mine to carry right now, or is this asking for action or just attention? That inner pause, it becomes a practice. And it makes your life feel less reactive and more grounded.
And with time, you begin to realize that so many things do work themselves out, not because you forced them to, but because you finally stopped interfering long enough for them to breathe.
That's the gift of space. It's quiet. It's gentle. But it's powerful. It doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. But somehow, it makes room for what's real. For what's ready. For what's true.
And the more you experience that, the less urgency you feel to control everything. You start to realize that things don't collapse just because you're not holding them together every second. Some things actually grow stronger when you take a step back.
And when you've seen how peace can grow in that stillness, you become more comfortable with not having all the answers. You learn to sit with the unknown without labeling it as wrong or broken. It's just not finished yet.
And that's the thing. Life doesn't always need to be wrapped up neatly. Some of the most meaningful moments are still unfolding. Still forming their shape. Still teaching you in ways that can't be rushed.
So if you're facing something that feels heavy, unclear, or messy right now, maybe it doesn't need a fix. Maybe it just needs a little more breath. A little less pressure. A bit of space to move at its own pace.
And maybe you do too. Maybe you need space to not know, to not decide, to not push. Just space to exist as you are, without edits, without urgency, without explanation.
And in that space, something sacred begins. Not a solution, maybe. But a soft shift. A deepening. A slow return to trust. Trust in the moment. Trust in the process. And trust in yourself.
So if today you're holding something heavy, and you feel like you should have figured it out by now, take a breath. Let yourself off the hook. You don't have to fix it all. Some things just need time, and space, and softness.
There's a quiet kind of wisdom in stepping back, in letting things be. And the more you practice it, the more you realize, you're not losing control, you're gaining peace. One breath at a time.
Thanks for being here with us today. We hope this conversation offered a little calm, and maybe even gave you permission to stop fixing for a while.
You've been listening to the British Accent Podcast. We'll be back again soon. Until then, take care of yourself, and remember, space is not emptiness. Sometimes, it's where healing begins.